The day you drove that Cadillac off the lot, the dealer shook your hand, smiled, and sent you on your way. What they didn't tell you is that the real money, their money, starts the moment you leave. After 2 decades working on Cadillacs, I've seen exactly what gets said at the service counter and what doesn't. I've watched owners approve $4,000 repairs they didn't need, pay for fluid changes that weren't due, and lose warranty coverage they never should have lost. All because nobody told them what I'm about to tell you. These are 15 things your Cadillac dealer will never voluntarily tell you after purchase. Some will save you hundreds. A few will save you thousands. Let's get into it. First, the maintenance schedule they hand you at the counter is not GM's schedule. The laminated sheet the service advisor hands you at check-in is the dealership's preferred schedule, and those two things are very different documents. GM engineers spent millions determining exactly when your fluids and filters need attention. A perfect example, many dealers push transmission fluid service at 30,000 miles. For the 8L90 in a CT5 and the 10L80 in an Escalade, GM specifies a drain and fill at 60,000 miles under normal conditions, assuming 7,500-mile oil change intervals. Severe duty only, towing, track use, or taxi service drops that to every 45,000 miles. That's 2 or 3 unnecessary services costing $200 to $350 each. Open your owner's manual. Find the maintenance schedule for your specific model and engine. That is your reference, not the sheet on the counter. Second, using an independent mechanic does not void your warranty. This is the single most profitable myth in the dealership business model. They want you coming back for every oil change, every filter, every minor service at their prices, and they count on you believing that an independent shop will kill your coverage. Federal law settled this in 1975. The Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act makes it illegal for any manufacturer to void your warranty simply because you used an independent mechanic, as long as the correct fluids and parts were used. The burden of proof is on GM to show that a specific independent repair caused a specific failure. A qualified independent Cadillac specialist typically charges 40 to 60% less than the dealership for identical work. Same diagnostic equipment, same GM spec fluids, same part numbers. Your warranty is not going anywhere. Here's something most owners don't realize. Your maintenance records are your warranty. Your Cadillac warranty covers defects in materials and workmanship. What it does not cover is damage caused by neglected maintenance, and dealerships know exactly how to document that distinction. If your 3.6-liter V6 develops a timing chain issue and the service history shows oil changes stretched to 12,000 miles, GM can deny that claim, legally. The service record you build, whether at the dealer or at an independent shop, is your evidence. Gaps in that record become their argument. Keep every receipt, every oil change, every fluid service, every filter replacement. That paper trail is the difference between a covered repair and a $3,500 bill that's entirely yours. Now, this next one is important. A machine transmission flush can actually cause damage. Many Cadillac dealers push a full machine transmission flush as standard service, and on several Cadillac transmissions, that's exactly the wrong procedure. GM's service information calls for repeated drain and fills, not machine flushes. High-pressure reverse flushing can dislodge debris into valve body passages, and that's exactly what GM technical service bulletins warn against on these units. A drain and refill removes roughly 40% of the fluid. It costs about half as much. Guess which one gets recommended at the counter? Another thing dealers rarely explain, that prepaid maintenance plan loses its value the moment you finance it. Cadillac offers prepaid maintenance plans with real savings, 15 to 25% versus paying individually. But here's what the finance manager will never say out loud. If you roll that plan into your car loan, you are paying interest on your oil changes. Over a 5 or 6 year loan, those interest charges erase every dollar of savings. That's only worth it if you pay cash up front. And once your factory warranty expires, you're no longer obligated to service at the dealer. A prepaid plan that extends past warranty coverage locks you into dealer pricing at exactly the point when independent shops become your better option. Here's one that plays out the same way in every dealership. The full inspection is a sales funnel. You bring your Cadillac in for a routine oil change. 2 hours later, the service advisor calls. Everything went great, but while they had it up on the lift, they noticed a few things worth addressing. What follows is a list: fuel injector cleaning, power steering flush, differential fluid, coolant exchange, nitrogen tire refill, each priced separately, total frequently over $1,000. Cross-reference every item against your owner's manual for your specific model and mileage. Many of those services aren't due yet. Tell the advisor you want only what GM specifies for your model at your current mileage. Watch how fast that list shrinks. And the add-ons at signing, almost pure profit for the dealer. A customer came in, retired, fixed income, bought a used XT5 from a Cadillac dealer 2 weeks earlier. I pull up the purchase invoice. Nitrogen tire fill, $189. Window VIN etching, $299. Paint sealant, $595. Fabric protection, $195. Total add-ons, $1,278. On a $28,000 used XT5. None of it asked for. All of it buried in the paperwork signed while exhausted after hours of negotiating. The air you breathe is already 78% nitrogen. The remaining oxygen in your tires is not hurting anything. VIN etching, paint sealant, and fabric protection are pure margin. Decline them or negotiate them out before you sign. Something else they won't advertise: dealer parts are marked up dramatically. Dealer parts pricing routinely runs double or more compared to what the parts actually cost wholesale. These aren't aftermarket knockoffs. These are genuine AC Delco and GM parts with the same part numbers available from independent suppliers at significantly lower prices. The oil filter that costs $65 at the service counter runs $28 online. Brake pads at $380 from the dealer are $160 with identical GM specifications from an independent source. Multiply those gaps across every service visit over 10 years of ownership. This is why independent mechanics can charge 40% less and still use genuine GM parts. They're not locked into the dealer supply chain. You don't have to be either. Here's one that catches a lot of Escalade owners off guard. Lifetime fluids are not actually lifetime. GM labels certain fluids as lifetime fill on some Cadillac components, and dealers are happy to let you believe that means the fluid never needs attention. Here's what it actually means. Engineered to last under ideal conditions: moderate temperatures, light loads, consistent highway driving. Not towing, not stop and go, not a Louisiana summer or a Michigan winter. I pulled the rear differential on a 2018 Escalade, 115,000 miles, never serviced, because the owner was told the fluid was lifetime. The gear oil was black, smelled burnt, ring and pinion showed early scoring. That's a $3,200 repair that a $140 fluid change would have prevented. Past 60,000 miles on any component labeled lifetime, service it. Now this one costs owners money before a single wrench is turned. The diagnostic fee structure favors the dealer. Something goes wrong, you bring the Cadillac in, before anyone touches it, you're charged $150 to $250 just to plug in the computer. At some dealerships, that fee applies toward repairs. At others, it's a separate charge regardless. The bigger issue is what dealers do with that diagnostic. The electronic power steering module is a known failure point on multiple Cadillac models, including the CTS and CT6. Dealer recommendation: replace the module, $1,400 to $2,000. An independent specialist who can reprogram the existing unit, $250 to $450. Before you approve any module replacement, ask specifically whether reprogramming is an option. And the extended warranty pitch, it's designed to hit you at your weakest moment. After hours of negotiating, you get handed off to the finance office. You're mentally exhausted. You just want the keys. That is exactly when the extended warranty presentation happens, and it's not an accident. The finance manager frames it as a small addition to your monthly payment. An extra $50 a month sounds reasonable when you're already at $700, but that's $3,000 over a 60-month loan for coverage you may never use. Third-party extended warranties from reputable providers often cover identical components for significantly less. You do not have to decide in that chair. Walk out. Compare options on your own timeline. Here's something worth knowing before you buy CPO. The badge doesn't mean every box was actually checked. Cadillac's CPO program requires a 172-point inspection. That's a serious checklist. But forum cases consistently show oil changes marked complete that weren't performed, cabin filters still original from the factory, brake fluid never tested despite being on the list. The inspection program exists. The execution varies. If you buy a CPO Cadillac, verify it yourself within 30 days. Check the oil on the dipstick, pull the cabin filter and look at it. Have an independent shop test the brake fluid. On a high-mileage CPO Escalade or XT5, have the transmission fluid checked too. The badge gets you a warranty. It doesn't guarantee every box was actually checked. Another thing the finance office won't volunteer, the rate they quote you is usually not the best rate you qualify for. The finance manager has two numbers: the buy rate, what the lender actually approved you for, and the sell rate, what they quote you. If a lender approves you at 5.9%, the dealer may quote you 7.4%. That difference on a $65,000 Escalade over 60 months is over $2,800 transferred directly from your pocket to theirs. It's legal, it's standard practice, and it works because almost nobody asks. Ask them directly, what is the buy rate on this loan? Bring a pre-approval from your credit union. The moment you show them a competing rate in writing, their flexibility increases noticeably. And this one is simple, but most people never use it. Walking out is the most powerful negotiating move you have. Dealers spend years training salespeople to build emotional attachment. By the time you've been in the building for 2 hours, they know you want the car. That investment of time becomes their leverage. The moment you walk out, the dynamic reverses completely. They will call within hours, sometimes within minutes. End of month makes this even more powerful. Every unit on that lot is accumulating flooring costs daily, and moving metal becomes urgent. You don't owe a decision to anyone in a showroom. The Escalade will still exist tomorrow. Walk out. The call will come. And the biggest thing they'll never walk you through, the true cost of ownership is dramatically higher than the sticker price. The number on the window is the entry fee. What comes after it is what nobody at that desk will walk you through. According to Bankrate 2025 data, full coverage on an Escalade averages $2,800 per year, though that varies by state and driver profile. A $95,000 Escalade loses roughly 20% of its value in year one. That's $19,000 gone before the first service interval. Once you're past the factory warranty, repair costs are entirely yours. Timing chain work on a 3.6-liter V6. A FM lifter failure on a 6.2-liter V8. Valve body replacement on a 10L 8.0. None of it is cheap. Cadillac builds great cars, but ownership doesn't end at the showroom. Now you know what they weren't going to tell you. Drop your Cadillac model, year, and mileage in the comments. Like and subscribe for more real-world ownership advice. And check out our video on the 3 worst and 4 best Cadillac engines.